Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fuck Fentanyl Podcast 2.0. I'm Luis Romero, and I'm the Fuck Fentanyl guy. And here I have a really special guest of mine. You probably heard her story before. Um, episode 37. We got Amy. How you doing, Amy?
Hi, I'm doing good. Thanks
That's
for
awesome.
having
I'm
me.
I'm so excited having you on.
Yeah, me too.
I was actually you're kind of what I call a sleeper. You
Asleep?
know, I
Yeah.
I I I I wasn't expecting you to have like this huge numbers in the
Yeah,
podcast,
me
you know.
neither, honestly.
I was like, "What? This
Yeah.
girl must be important." And but you had such a really powerful story.
Yeah.
It was I still remember it.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too. It was a surprise. I did I had a lot of friends look at it too and
yeah.
family members, so maybe that's what,
Nah,
that's
got a
what
big
brought.
family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, same here. uh, um, so I did want to ask, like, what's life been like since that first podcast?
Honestly, I wish I can say life has been perfect since the last
Right.
podcast. Um and it's been great. It's just it hasn't been perfect, you know. I
Ain't that a
expected,
bitch?
yeah, life is still a bitch, even in like while you're in sobriety. But I can say that I have like had more of of like I've been evolving since then. Um, I feel like now I can tell my story without shedding tears and crying or
Yeah,
feeling bad about it.
sure.
Now I can see it as like a power move, and
Right,
as strength.
right.
So, yeah, it's been bumpy in a way, as in like, I feel like I'm in that mindset. I get in that mindset sometimes where I wish I was farther along, or like I wish, this, I wish that, but
Right.
I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And
Yeah.
um I've been getting through it, and I'm still clean. So,
So clean.
like, although it hasn't been perfect, or there's things that I get stuck on, or
Yeah.
I get through it clean. And that's like my main thing that I nope don't pick up no matter what.
No matter
So,
fucking what.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's the only thing we have to do perfect.
Yeah, there you
Just
go.
pick up.
Yeah.
Everything else, it's like you're gonna slip and fall and hit your
Yeah.
fucking face in the fucking concrete, but you get back up. Yeah, I totally, I definitely have gone backwards in my recovery. Like from 12 to probably all the way to fucking 2.
Yeah.
But the only thing I don't I know I can never pick up again.
There you go.
That's
I'm
it.
glad you said that. That kind of makes me feel better, because I was like kind of nervous about coming on.
You were?
Yeah.
Really?
Just because, I wish I can come back with these great stories, and but
Yeah,
I'm still progressing, like
absolutely.
how you said, sometimes, sometimes I feel like I'm moving back, but the only thing perfect good that I haven't done is picked up. And that's
Absolutely.
something that I like, at the end of the day, I look at, and I like want to like say, to other people who have felt where I am at,
Right.
is like, as long as you're not picking up for however long you can, like, that's perfect. Because
Yeah.
after that, it's better things are coming, or something good is going to come out of that. Nothing good comes out of picking up and using.
Right, absolutely.
So,
It only gets worse.
yeah,
And
exactly.
you know, I actually thought about that really recently, like about like my bottoms and stuff like that. I had some pretty big ones, like prison and well, looking at prison and potentially overdosing and dying and or devastating my family even more than I already have. And what pretty much I always what kind of came to terms with is just no matter fucking what, it always gets fucking worse.
Yeah.
It always gets worse.
Uh,
It never gets better, you know. But I wanted to ask you,
yeah.
how long you been clean now?
What is it? 19 months
Like,
and a couple days this month. Yeah.
fuck,
Yeah. So almost 20 months.
almost 30?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Wow.
So over a year and like 7 months, I want to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fucking
So
amazing.
that's one thing I'm really proud of because
Absolutely. That's
I
something to
mean,
be very proud of.
yeah. And even like at my 6 months and, every month that I make, I stop and think, I'm like, like the girl that I was when I was using, I wouldn't have thought that at all.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm really thankful for. And also I'm happy with my life, and I'm pushing myself to do better. And, like I said, sometimes I get in those areas where I'm like, why, comparing myself to other people's
Okay.
recoveries but I am exactly where I need to be. And, at my pace, I'm getting stuff done. And I
Right.
forget that sometimes, I forget that I am taking steps to progress and stuff.
Right.
So, and yeah. Yeah.
Fucking awesome. It's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. Because you're in this very, like I'm gonna say, like, because you're a recovering fentanyl addict,
Hmm.
it's really, really hard,
Yeah.
to stay clean for even more than even a year is like
Yeah.
gigantic. So the fact that you're approaching 2,
I know.
you know, like it's fucking huge.
Yeah. Like, I have some friends that, are still dealing with fentanyl addiction, and
Yeah.
it's just so sad to see it, and like I just want to help them, or like, like, hey, there's a better way, or like come to a meeting with me. And
Right.
but it's like sometimes it just boggles my mind, like on in a way of like how was I able to do it, or like
Yeah.
um sometimes even questioning myself, like, was I even a real addict, which is not a good question to ask,
Well,
but
if you listen to your episode, you
no.
could probably go, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
was."
I am, guys. I'm gonna say that loud and clear. But it's just crazy how like hard it is to get out of it. And now, even now, I can say that hearing about like overdoses on fentanyl
Yeah,
like really hit me this like now. Like
yeah,
even in my recovery, even like a year ago, I was still kind of like, I guess I just thought it was being selfish and like, oh, well, it didn't happen to me. So it wasn't as like bizarre. But like,
sure.
especially when it happens to people close to me, is like not even just close to me, but like people that, some so and so passed away and I didn't know them. And oh, it's because of fentanyl. It's like, it really hits me how easy it is to like overdose on it and how
Yeah,
dangerous it really is. And at the time when I was using, it was just like, "Oh, well, it hasn't happened to me, so it
right,
can't happen to me," you
right.
know?
The Yets.
But it's yet there you go. But it's really serious. So it's like I just, I want like my brother's 10. I want him to know this and get it now, and understand how dangerous that stuff really is.
Absolutely,
Cause so yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said this multiple times, but, my heart goes out to, like, the younger generation
Yes.
because it's like, I kinda came in the age of, well, I didn't do pills, but pills were, like, the thing, Oxycontins and stuff, and then,
Mhm.
I got into the heroin part of it. So, I mean, I felt like, you know, even, like, my generation, I'm gonna be 35 in a couple weeks, but, like, felt like my generation got hit with that epidemic pretty hard and, a lot of us died, from either heroin or and then later on fentanyl, but
Yeah.
I feel really bad for the, younger generations that can't even experiment, if you smoke weed or maybe do a lot of coke, you guys get laced or they're just trying to kinda get, you guys straight on hooked onto the Fetty.
Yeah. It could be your first time, and that first time could be like the
Yeah,
last, which is scary. And I have heard a lot of like older friends that I have,
right.
they'll say like, "Oh, drugs aren't like they were today," and like they kind of make it sound like it was easier to use drugs back then because they were pure. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's scary. That's really scary to
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Like I'm here thinking that I was using like the good shit or
Right,
like,
right, for sure.
oh, this is good, but it's like I trust and I'll take the word of my elders, you know? Uh,
Well, that's very wise of you.
yeah. So not to.
But, I'm trying to remember because you were, using meth.
Yeah, that was
That was kinda, that was your DOC for a while,
yeah.
and then did you get, introduced to Fetty because of, like, it got laced, or was it just, like, or is it just a whole separate
It was just a whole separate
is a whole
thing.
separate, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'll just do that."
Yeah. It was what? I was using methamphetamine first and then
Right.
I think after that I kind of just didn't really care anymore, you know?
I see.
Like I guess
Get
all
that
kind of
yeah,
sense of like logic left my mind
yeah.
and I just kind of I didn't care, you know? I didn't care. I wasn't like it wasn't it was yeah, I didn't care. That's
Okay.
what it
Oh,
was.
that
I didn't care and I was just
yeah,
like, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So,
That's how I felt like when, I got introduced to heroin
mhm.
because, I was, like, doing coke, and drinking and smoking weed with my buddies in high school and
Yeah.
stuff, and then, when, uh, they kinda whipped out the needle and the black inside it, and I was like, "Yeah, like, I'm good."
Yeah.
But eventually, I just hit that point where I was like, "Well, fuck it."
Yeah.
I don't care.
There you go.
Um, and, I always kinda just narrow it down because I had low self-esteem, and all that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I was also the type to say, "Oh, I never do this."
Right.
I'm not like that, or
Yeah.
just, but, they'd always tell me, you say that you never do that, but you're gonna end up doing it if you hang around the crowd for so long or around the drug for so long.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, and then honestly, like now it just gives me some sense of like, I just wanna like, especially to, like, my younger brothers, like,
Yeah.
like, one of them's being curious, they wanna smoke weed, like, now I'm like, "You don't do it," like, even out of curiosity, "Don't do it," because
Right.
you never know, and,
Sure.
"Well, I'll never do this and that."
Yeah.
Well, you never know, so just don't do it, So
Oh, that's how it always goes though, right? "Oh, I'm not gonna be like that.
yeah.
Do it."
But,
Yeah.
you hang around it for so long or just enough time and you just end up falling. And that's just to me like another like how like powerful drugs can be, and
Yeah.
fentanyl and opioids is it's dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. You never, because it is a little different now.
Yeah.
When I was using, it was just like Russian roulette. Like we're just like, ah, fuck it. If it happens, it happens. We never really carried Narcan around or drug tested or drugs. Was that ever something that you did?
No, it wasn't. I mean, that
Okay.
sounds smart. I mean,
Sounds smart, yeah.
smart to do,
On paper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it happened, "Oh, I have Narcan right here," but no, that never crossed my mind, which is like, I'm so thankful nothing happened, because I didn't have nothing. I would have just,
Yeah.
but that's a good
Yeah,
idea for
yeah. Um, like, towards the end of your use, did you, because you grew up in North County,
Yeah,
right, all your life,
yeah,
and you ended up down here, right?
yeah, down here for my recovery.
I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. And, like, lately, that's been, kind of a conversation for me lately, like, if I wanna go back home or,
Yeah.
stay here with, um, to basically I've kind of made my life up here in a way, like
Yeah.
I'm, I have good people around me.
Right.
I'm working. I'm like, you know, just getting my stuff done up here. So it's been a kind of, and I'm still in my sober living right now.
Okay.
So right now is like, like a year ago, I wasn't really thinking about like where I was going to go to next or
Right.
after sober living. And like, that's kind of a relief for me that that's came up, because I wanna be able to have a plan B, just,
Sure.
like, just a plan, So
Yep.
that's one thing, like, that's a little update on
Oh, yeah.
my life, like,
Really.
where am I gonna go? And, like,
Yeah.
I've thought about, like, is going home a good option for me, you know?
Yeah.
Only because those were my stomping grounds, and
Yeah.
so I it's just kind of a tricky,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I personally was fucking scared to go
yeah.
home.
It like it although like I don't want to sometimes admit it or like really look at it, like my addiction like kind of affected and impacted a lot of things in my life,
Yeah.
that I didn't even like realize
Yeah.
up till now, like going back home, like that's kind of, and I usually I would have loved to go back home, but
Right.
it's kind of, I still get those,
No,
my stomach trembling.
that's normal.
I'm sure it still happens to you, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
some to some degree,
Yeah.
some degree.
Yeah.
It's not as I mean, it is definitely worse when I first got clean. It was
Yeah.
definitely like I couldn't. I one time took the bus down the 929.
Mhm.
It goes on Highland, and I couldn't even look outside. It was so fucking bad. I was like, ah, I shot up there, I shot up there, I shot up there. And I was like,
Yeah.
get me out of this thing,
Yeah,
you
seriously,
know.
like torture.
This is a fucking ride of triggers,
Yeah.
and fucking what helped was that I did go to a sober living.
Yeah, that really helps.
So that does help because it's like you have structure, everything's A to B.
Yeah.
I literally would see it's right out in Chula Vista. It's off C Street. It's called the Pioneers, and um, like there's a Jack in the Box maybe a block and a half away from it, and I would literally see somebody I used to do dope with just posted
Yes,
right
it's
outside
still
the Jack
there.
in the Box,
Yeah.
and I just go, "Hey, how you
Yeah.
doing?" Like, bye,
Yeah.
kind of. I was like, I'm not trying to get into
Yeah. Run.
conversation, man, because it's that easy. Because especially like if I'm having a fucked up ass day, and I just have that fuck it,
Yeah.
just that one little fuck it, and it's like just like wildfire, just all right.
Yeah.
Where am I gonna go?
Yeah.
Where
I need to get away from here is what you need to
yeah.
do.
So yeah. And now that's been like 11 years, close to 12.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
that's that's crazy.
Yeah. So now it's been that long. It doesn't really occur like in that like kind of like intense, like consuming like
Yeah.
obsession. It's kind of just more like little waves, and I definitely battle with depression too, so I think that has a factor to it.
Yeah.
Like I don't do like therapy or medications or so it's like so I think just like when I'm feeling low and stuff like that, that's where I mean I don't get ideas or anything, but I just kind of just getting that mindset, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I get it. It's kind of like that you don't want to add, like me personally, thank God I haven't acted on it, but it's like that, like, I know what will fix this right now, or at least
Yeah,
make me feel better.
right.
And it's just that natural reaction. And I feel like sometimes I get that confused with me, like, like going back,
Yeah,
because it's like sometimes, I get I feel guilty. Like, why am I thinking of this as the answer? Or like,
right.
have I made any progress? But that's like, you're right, it's normal, it's gonna happen,
It's gonna happen.
but yeah.
Just to like think like we're all just gonna be in recovery amazing mode, like
Yeah, exactly, like
well, let me do my 10th step right now because it's just not really fucking realistic, man. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Even people that do it, great, great. I think that's a good thing. But
yeah,
sometimes you gotta kind of just be realistic sometimes.
yeah,
So you're gonna go through your feelings, and we're all just gonna try to process it the best way we fucking can.
yeah,
And definitely like working steps and talking to your support is definitely like a great way
yeah,
to work with it. But but there is just sometimes that life's gonna hit you with that left. You know what I mean?
yeah, yep.
And
Like, right now that you were mentioning, like, um yeah, that's like how I can't, started saying at first, I I wanted to come in here and, say all these great things about like, but I don't. I mean, not, not like that I don't have anything going on, but like look at you in this big studio from like that's a big jump. But like what I don't see is like the steps that it might have took you to get there.
Yeah,
So that's what like, that's why I'm like, what, just calm down and
right,
just speak your truth and
right.
you know,
It definitely didn't happen overnight.
yeah, I believe
You
you.
know, you're 18, 19 months now?
Yeah.
Or you're 19 months.
19 months.
So when I was 19 months, I was still on probation,
Mhm.
formal probation. I had a PO. I took the fucking bus, didn't have a car.
Yeah.
I owed thousands of dollars to the courthouse.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed in my mom's house. I wasn't talking to most of my family. And it was my decision, but like so there was really like nothing like super pink cloud like
Yeah.
moment, like this like, wow, country's awesome.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, like, like I'm digging myself out of this motherfucking hole. And
Yeah.
so I 100% understand
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Like, you know, I'm I'm not happy you went through that, but
But wow, you're a loser.
but hey, I'm thankful that you're telling me this because, I think, I'm hearing I hear a lot of stories and shares like, like goals and stuff and like
Yeah.
I feel like it's okay to share like the
Yeah.
progress too, and I 100% believe that it can help a lot of people. It helped me right now, right now I feel like, okay, you know what? Like I'm only 19 months clean. Like not only,
No, no, yeah,
that's
I know
great,
I
but
know what you're saying.
I'm I still have a long way to go and forever to go, hopefully, but I'm doing good, and like
Okay, you are.
um
I could
yeah.
tell you straight up that you're doing good.
Yeah, like it's a working progress and yeah. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, there's what do they always say? Life gets lifey type,
Oh,
some stupid
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
But
Life be lifing.
it like life happens,
Yeah.
you
There
know.
you go.
But it's a beautiful fucking gift.
Yeah.
Like honestly, to be able to experience life because like I rather experience, the little bullshit that we have to go through in our daily lives than be fucking hooked on that shit again.
Yeah,
You know what I
seriously.
mean?
Like I'm much more happier with and just content with my life now. Like even if it's a bad day, like I think back to when I had nothing or was I was no, I felt like nothing and I wouldn't want it any other way. Like I'll take the responsibility that I sometimes like can get tired of and like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, wake up for work or like, just figuring out what to do with my life. I take this any day over like out there on the streets, and like not having not even a single pint of motivation in me, you
Right.
know? And like I've been thinking more lately about like wanting to like help other people or like get into like the mental health profession or like,
Oh yeah.
peer so like I'm just in a way I'm glad I went through all that because now it's kind of giving me ideas for a career that I want to do, like
Yeah.
even this, like this is awesome. Like
Oh,
your
thank
podcast, like
you.
you
Yeah.
turned your like pain and struggle and all of that into a way to help other people,
Yeah.
and like listen to like stuff that is like real and raw. So
Right.
that's really cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And like you have a very powerful story.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like just like that saying, don't judge a book by its
Yeah.
cover.
Yep.
I remember, having you in your first episode, and I was just like, "Oh, I know, she'll probably be pretty good," but
Yeah.
I was like, "Man, like, you just, dropped, like, the most, like, real,
Yeah.
most heaviest stuff, all the stuff you went through in your addiction and,
Yeah.
even, like, the childhood
Yeah.
trauma, that kinda led up to it, you know what I mean? And I was literally like, wow, this girl's story is gonna help
Yeah.
so many people.
Thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Yeah. I hope it helped many more people too. And
Absolutely.
yeah, like the whole judging a book by its cover,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Don't do that shit.
No, don't do it. It's crazy how much like people can go through and they can just not even just hide it, but like can just put on a smile or like,
Right.
be a whole different person now and you wouldn't even expect it. It's like that's why like being in the rooms like honestly like has helped me not judge a book by its cover
Absolutely.
because I'm like there's no way this person went through all that or
Right.
like how did
Oh
they
yeah.
get out of it or like they're so, like, calm, but
Yeah.
how so it's like, and but, um, yeah, like, now, like, I heard you right now you mentioned that you weren't speaking to your family at all, like
Yeah, I wasn't. Um, for it took like a couple more. I think it was like year 3.
that they
I
started.
think I started. Yeah, I had a resentment towards a couple of them,
Mhm.
so that was kind of what kind of led up to it. And then I just kind of I just wanted time away, to be honest too.
You did too you wanted it on
Yeah,
you.
like cause like I think they're like my mom. I love my mom
Yeah.
to beyond anything beyond anybody else, but she drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So
Vice versa.
when I yeah, we'll fucking butt heads all the time. And so when I first got clean, I definitely was like, I can't fucking be around my mom. She's gonna fucking just
Yeah.
push me to the fucking limit. And but she helped me out so much. She's
Yeah.
very supportive of me. I mean, there was so many things that she did early on in my recovery that, like, that I'm super grateful for. Because like, she should have honestly, even though I wasn't allowed in her house, it was understandable. I stole from her.
Yeah.
I was toxic, and so it was understandable. But she did do a lot of things for me.
And
Like that she had every right to just be like, "Oh, fuck you, dude. You're
yeah.
you're you're a fucking piece of shit. Like I don't, R.I.P. You know."
Yeah.
But she was there for me. And so yeah. When I got back into speaking terms with my family, I felt like I was kind of growing as a person again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know, it's like I don't know. You're very familiar with the AA book, but there's a little passage about resentments.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
and it resonated a lot with me, especially when I reread it again, and I was like, wow, fuck. I was just harming myself with it thinking it was protecting me, but
Yeah.
it was actually like very harmful, to just not get over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was doing you more harm than
Yes.
her, you
Yeah.
know?
So and yeah, everyone in my family is in speaking terms with me
That's good.
for the most part.
How does that feel now, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it feels.
Or how's the
eh,
relationship with your mom now?
Oh, it's pretty great.
Like,
Like,
you still bump
we
heads?
still will butt heads. I mean, that will
Yeah.
never end until we're dead. But it's great.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I went from not being allowed inside my mom's house at all, to she actually will let me have a key to her house.
Oh my god.
While she's away
Yeah.
in a vacation or out of town.
That must have been a big deal.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn, that's for real, huh?
Yeah. Oh.
Like, I was like, I never thought I'd live to see this day type
Yeah.
shit.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's
No,
great.
yeah, it's really amazing. You know, and my mom has always been a big supporter of mine. When it comes to like fuck fentanyl, she's definitely thinks it's pretty cool, but she just won't wear my clothes because the F word. She'll never wear my shit. She'll
Oh my
never wear my
god.
shit.
I'm but
But
I'm
it's cool. It's
yeah, yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Like I understand.
You understand.
I understand. And
Hater.
she actually saw my podcast equipment in
Oh,
my
she did?
kitchen.
What you think? What you
She's like, "Wow, so this is everything, huh?" Like
Aw,
she was like,
imagine has she seen this?
"Yeah."
Yeah.
Oh no, no, she hasn't. No, no.
Wow, she
This
prob
is like I've only like told a few people about this.
yeah.
Very like
Cool.
small group of people know that I'm doing the video thing.
Yeah.
It'll probably like once it airs,
Yeah.
it'll be
It
more
will.
out there. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I hope my mom doesn't listen to any of my podcasts because we talk about some
I know, huh?
fucked up shit. But whatever, she does, she does, she does, you know.
Some PTSD kind of,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, but yeah, it's really cool. To like to kind of I literally feel like I rebuild my life
Yeah.
again. It's so rare that I get those like reminders that I'm like that I was a fucking gnarly junkie and like I like occasionally I'll run into like somebody I used with and stuff, but it's not really so much anymore because everyone that I got high with pretty much like in that system or they're dead.
Yeah.
But I do occasionally will like get that little humble reminder.
Yeah. Of like how it could be like that at any moment if you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
take the wrong path, you know?
right.
So,
And yeah, man, it's pretty cool. My life isn't perfect either. Like even at where I'm at right now, I mean, trust me, I got fucking problems, like beyond fucking problems some days. I actually just got over like this really like gnarly flu that reminded me of being dope sick. Like I literally felt like I was kicking
oh
dope
my
again.
God. Yeah.
And I'm just so miserable and I'm like, oh my God,
You
dude.
feeling better now?
Yeah, yeah, I'm fine now.
Gosh.
But
You know, those
just like
feelings.
the beginning of February to like maybe a week ago,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I was just like fucking dying. And then I get depressed. I'm like, fuck, man.
Sick and depressed.
It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, what is this end?
One thing I want to say too is
Right.
one thing that I've really been I feel like is a new interest lately, like
Yeah.
since that year,
Yeah.
since a year ago, is I realized that being of service and like helping others is like, you know how they say that like that's the number one thing in recovery is like being of service and
Yeah,
like
absolutely it
that's
is.
honestly that I've been more of service. Like I just took a GSR commitment.
Really?
I'm excited about it because
That's cool.
I feel like I would like I just want something to, like, pull me out of the little like,
Yeah.
sometimes that little bubble I'm in, and
Yeah.
get more involved in my recovery, even if,
Absolutely.
honestly, I didn't really know what GSR did or, like, what it
Me either.
really?
Oh yeah, I didn't know what the fuck they did either.
Like, your role,
Yeah, like what
like,
the fuck do they do?
sure, I'll do it, why not? But I'm looking forward to it to, like, give me expand my, like, my service and, like, expand my, like, meetings and
Yeah.
get to know more people too and make you like get those phone numbers,
Right.
because for a while too, like I just kind of sticked to a certain group of people, which is fine. They're great people,
Right.
but we have a life and I just want to get to know more people and
Yeah, absolutely.
send the message to them too. Like we've been having a lot of new girls come into the house I'm in
Uh-huh.
and I just want to guide them in a way,
Right.
like not, not like, tell them what to do, but
No,
just like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
be there for them, support them and, you
Right.
know, be give back what I had,
Right.
it,
You've been there for a while.
yeah, exactly.
That
And
makes
like,
sense.
some of them come in with like, not really excited for recovery or,
Sure.
which
That's
is normal,
to be expected.
yeah. And, I went through that. So like, having someone like, "Hey, like it's gonna be okay," or like, "Hey, look at this is what I've been learning. This is really cool," or like, "Come to this meeting with me," is like something that I like to do. I guess in a way, I do it more for myself than I do for them, because I feel good,
Right, right, right.
But in a way, I'm also like making a connection and kind of helping someone out.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I've like kind of um how do you say it, gathered in me,
Yeah.
that's been like kind of sparking my interests or like my mind.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's huge.
yeah,
That really is.
because I feel like a year ago I probably, not that I wouldn't, but I would have been too nervous to even like sign up for a GSR
Right.
commitment or any type of commitment,
Right.
because I just nervous and scared, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But now it's like I see what it's done to other people, or like
yeah,
how it's helped other people, how it's connected them with so many like great people and
yeah.
awesome friends that I'm like, I want that, you know? I want to like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially that one. I mean, because 'cause you're, like, kind of branching out,
Yeah, branching out,
right,
that's the
that's
word.
exactly what you're doing,
Yeah.
and they're just, like, talking to other people as you go to other meetings and
Yeah.
different yeah, it's really rad.
And get more insight from different people, and like
Mm,
I swear, like I hear like there's one way of thinking that I have, and then like I go to a meeting or like I talk to someone and like a whole different point of view that I'm like, wow, like that's a really good point of view. And it's
mm.
just like that's good, that's good to have, because if I was like driven on self-will, it would have just been
Yeah.
not
Yeah, but
good.
never good. Nah. Some folk could, take you down to a bad path.
Yeah.
I've done it, you know? I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with my story, but I've done self-will for many years
Yeah.
as a clean and sober person, and, it doesn't end well.
It doesn't end well, even in recovery, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, like, I'm glad it didn't end with a relapse.
Yeah.
That's what I'm grateful for, but
Mhm.
definitely, you definitely will it's like a boomerang.
Yeah.
Eventually, that motherfucker's gonna go right back and hit your
Yeah. That's also like something that I've been realizing too, like if it like for me, if it's even if it doesn't end in a relapse, there's like things I want to work on myself on that like I'm proud of myself that I haven't relapsed over like certain stuff that I've been through, or like, bump life being life.
Right.
But thankfully I learned from them, but like I want to learn from I don't know how to explain it. Do you understand what I'm
I am
yeah?
understanding what you're saying.
Like that's great. It didn't end in a relapse and I'm very thankful,
Right.
but also I want to fix whatever it
Right, right.
ended
Oh,
up
yeah.
the
You wanna live in the solution.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Live in the
I
solution and
understand.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like, sometimes you'll get it real quick. Sometimes you're just gonna fall off a little bit.
Yeah.
That's 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 part of the deal. But I wanted to did cover this because you are also a very
Mhm.
young woman. How old are you right now?
22.
22.
Yeah, I turned 22 in January. So I
Wow.
just recently kind of.
That's yeah, no, I
Yeah,
just wanted to
recently.
clarify that because,
Yeah.
it's a you're kind of in that age margin where it's like really like even if it was just like something like alcohol or weed, something that's not as harmful as, like meth and fentanyl, like
Yeah.
that's a tough thing to do just to drop it and be like, "Okay, I'm gonna be clean sober now." And it's a
Yeah.
huge deal.
Yeah, like I always think about how like I'm in the years where like I'm building my life,
Right.
but I feel like I'm like rebuilding it in a way, so it's kind of like confusing, I sometimes get a little like confused or like caught up like am I building my life? Am I rebuilding it? Because, I kind of, I went through all those things that kind of like put me like a little, 10 feet down.
Right.
So it gets a little like it does get a little like I don't want to say hard. Like I don't really like that word. Like it's hard, but like
Yeah.
it gets complicated, or like very like I feel shamed in a way, like but
Yeah.
and that's why I kind of just, ground myself sometimes, and I remember like I'm where I'm supposed to be, and like
Right.
I'm fine, like as long as I'm clean and like I don't pick up and
Right.
I'm good,
Right.
so yeah, I feel like that's tough like for like other addicts,
Sure.
younger addicts
Right,
in
right, right.
recovery too. I feel like I can relate a lot to them
Yeah.
about what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm sure like a lot of people, but that's yeah.
Yeah, man. I got clean when I was like, how old was I? I was 22 technically.
Oh, really?
I was still technically 22. I like when I turned 23 in George
Mhm.
Bailey, like I had just kicked. like,
Oh, you had
just like it was
surgery.
just like the withdrawals were just like gone.
Yeah. No way. As soon as you turn
Yeah,
brand new. Yeah.
it was fucking fucked.
How did
But
you feel? How was that for you? Like
I was what?
getting in recovery at such
Oh,
a young
really
age?
early? Yeah. So I felt like it was a little weird at first because a lot of my high school friends, they were drinking and smoking weed and kind of enjoying life, and
Yeah.
um it's like, young people kind of just being young people.
Mhm.
I got to see that, and I'm like, "Oh, great. I'm in jail and I'm in rehab now, and oh, now that I'm out, now I can't do any of that anymore."
It's like who am
It
I gonna
felt
do?
um it felt really weird, and it was kind of like a little like kind of like fuck, man, like I kind of just wish I was normal
Yeah.
type feelings, but I just kind of, like I said, it was a lot of humility that
Yeah.
I had to just kind of go through, and I had to, face my damage, and I caused a lot of harm, especially to myself, but like, but to other people. So that helped me out a lot with just kind of getting over that, like, oh, I wish I could just drink a beer or fucking smoke a joint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I definitely I I I, I struggled when I was in jail,
Mhm.
with the heroin thing. Like, I wasn't sure if I was gonna quit that all the way. It's
Oh.
funny, you would think like, "Oh, like, what a great opportunity," right?
Yeah.
Like, how is it such a fucking hard decision? But it fucking was, like, heroin made me happy, and I wasn't happy with my life, and I was kinda just teeter-tottering, whether, I was gonna go back to the same shit that I normally do,
Yeah.
or I'm going to get clean and I'm gonna move forward with my life. So luckily I did go to rehab, and that helped a lot.
Yeah.
If I just did my time, I really believe if I just did my time,
Mm.
uh I would have gone on to the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter how much years, I would have just it would have been inevitable because I was just gonna be the same person, and that's just a reality, because I was offered drug court at one point.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, and I said no. I'm like, "Nope, I'm not doing that," because I knew, like, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna pick up, and I'm gonna go right back, or I'm dead.
Yeah.
One of those options. So
So rehab did really help you.
right.
Yeah.
So it was really good that it worked out the way it did, and then that's
Yeah.
what I'm pretty much saying, like, I got dry, and I was dry,
Yeah.
and then I got to soak in a little bit of recovery slowly.
Yeah.
I'm stubborn. I definitely it wasn't overnight for
Yeah.
sure.
I can tell with how you're saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a hothead, man. When I was in jail, they they were trying to get me go to rehab, and I was like, nope, fuck no.
Really?
So do yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna do my time, and then
Yeah.
I got 12-step called by my rep in jail, and that's how I got into rehab because he pressed it like you should do it, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
I signed the deal, and then that's how I went to rehab.
But you did not want to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't want to change. I it
You didn't even
I
want
was,
to hear it.
I was terrified, really. Like I just I was so used to living that life,
Yeah.
and it was like breathing to me, like why am I gonna do something else? And thank God I did not have my way.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
But, it's good, that everything worked out for me because it allows me to be here right now at this moment,
Yeah. 11 years later?
11 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, March 5th is my date.
Oh, March 5th, that's coming up.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
God.
Yeah,
How
no.
long? Like 11 years and what months? How many months?
Yeah, 11 years, 10, 11 months, and I don't know, like 3 weeks and
Oh, wow.
4 days, something like
Crazy.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like,
pretty cool.
you stopped taking track at a certain point or no?
Yeah, I mean, you kinda do. I mean, it's kinda like I used to, like, count the days, like, when
Yeah.
I first got clean, I go, "I'm 64 days clean," you know, like shit like that. I used to do that
Yeah.
all the time, but now I'm just like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'll check out the little app
Mhm.
every once in a while and I'm like, "Oh, cool. I passed that little milestone,"
Yeah.
you know? Um, but yeah, that's pretty much about it, you know, like I just try to my thing now, like, is just trying to progress, you know, and just, because not picking up and not, staying clean is just like pretty much like the initiation
Yeah.
of
Now it's just kind of following your dreams and
yeah,
accomplishing your goals,
absolutely.
which is pretty cool, you know? That's like, because I used to feel, I still sometimes feel, I do feel um, like my whole life is recovery sometimes.
Yeah,
And in a way that's okay, but I also want to like feel like, oh, just make it a way of just, this is my life, this is no or normal,
right, right.
like just have it like how it used to be normal for me to like, go on ask for money or go on mobs to like crazy mobs to like get I just want this to be normal, and like not having to wake up and it feel like it's like a chore to stay clean
Yeah.
or how do I say it? Like looking for like there feel like there's obstacles, like it's just I'm clean and that's how I decide to be clean and
Right.
live a life of sobriety and so that's really cool to hear. Yeah.
Do you have any plans for the future?
Um well, I really want to get back into school to
Yeah,
like yeah,
you
just
should.
yeah, I want to like or like, some a path where I can like kind of be like a peer counselor, peer support
Oh, peer
specialist.
support?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So something like that, so I can get like in the like be in the kind of like work in a rehab or like
Yeah, yeah, you wanna work in the recovery field?
yeah, in the recovery field. There we
Oh, no
go.
shit, yeah.
So I had a friend that just like hopped into a program, like not hopped, but
Yeah,
she signed up for a program and like so I'm kind of like thinking about it. I guess
yeah,
I don't know what I'm thinking of, I think it's just me being a little like hesitant or like doubting myself a little bit,
r
but or not wanting to get out of my comfort zone.
yeah.
But that's something that I'm like, I really want to like accomplish, and um actually this next week I have my driver's license test.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
You mean
so I'm
driver's license?
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah, fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. And yeah, I've just been kind of just working on myself and like working on things that like trying to put in steps to like get those things done,
Yeah,
So, yeah,
no, it's good. It's like, I like I said, I think you're doing great.
thank you.
Like, you're killing it. Like, you have, like, so much, like, insane potential,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And you can go farther than I ever can,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you, are incredibly, like, inspiring, to I think, to a lot of people. I've had people that are, like, my age group
Uh-huh.
and, probably even been clean longer than you, but they
Okay.
told me they listened to your podcast, they're like, "Oh my god," like,
Oh,
you know what I
that's
mean?
awesome. Yeah.
So, like, just letting you know, like, you do have, like,
You.
an extremely powerful story, and what you're doing right now is a big fucking deal.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm grateful. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Grateful.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here
Yeah, me too. I'm glad I came.
and doing this little follow-up with me.
Yeah.
I like I said, I have much respect for what you're doing, and, I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah,
So this
and
is
I'll
awesome.
even try to help you out with that, that peer support shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try to link you up with some
All right.
people.
Cool. Some info.
Alright. Alright.
All right.
Well, for, anybody that hasn't got a chance to listen to Amy's, little past story, it's available on Spotify, Apple, all the platforms, episode 37. Um I have much respect for this girl Amy. Like she is an incredible person, and I'm so grateful, that my clothing brand, got to get me to connect with somebody like this. And thank you again, Amy, so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, bye everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye, Benno.
Fuck no.